Insider secret number 7 is learning to stay in my lane. This is one of the things that I'm still challenged with. Learning to recognize, where do my gifts and talents lay, and staying with those things and letting others that are really good at certain things just do those things. Not just in terms of bartering, which we all maybe have done, but also in who to hire, what to hire. And growing ENTP today, the more I adopt this, the more I find success. Letting go of the rigid grasp of maybe some of us more than others are tempted to want to control everything, but I find the more is that I let go of things that I'm really not good at and let others flourish there. It's a process of trusting for me, right? Because you don't want to let someone have the keys to the kingdom that shouldn't have the keys to anything, But the more I do that, the more I'm blessed because others show up with their brilliance. I'm learning to release that more and then also stay in my lane more and tell myself the truth. Okay, what am I good at? Not what do I want to be good at? What am I actually getting feedback that I'm good at? Insider secret number 7 is staying in my lane. And staying in my lane 90% of the time. There's times when I get called out of my lane and I have to show up. And there's no one else that can do the thing. And you can't always hire it out or ask someone to do it for you. You got to show up. And maybe it's more than 10% of the time. Maybe it's like 50% of the time, depending on where a person's at. Do you stay in your lane? If you, I would love to know in the comments. If you stay in your lane, I'm curious, what percentage of your life are you actually staying in your lane? What I mean by that is, what percentage of your life are you actually doing the things you know you're wired to do, you know that you're brilliant at, or at least good at? They bring you joy. It's not like pulling teeth. It doesn't feel like oppression. Time flies when you're doing the things where you're staying in your lane. Time can go by. 3 hours later, you look up and you're like, wow, what happened in 3 hours? I believe it's because when that happens to me, I've been staying in my lane, and it's a joy for me to stay in my lane. And another thing I'm learning is that when I get frustrated that people aren't as good at something that I want them to be, instead of getting frustrated with them, and maybe they get frustrated with me, this is a temptation, it's instead to go, that's an opportunity for me to show up for someone else, whether it's monetizable or not, irrelevant, regardless of that. It's a chance for me to lean into that. And I'm finding that the things I used to feel so frustrated at, you ever feel frustrated? Because you're dealing with someone, you're like, why can't you figure this out? Why can't you understand? It's because they have a different skill set, a different zone of genius. And I'm learning, as I'm starting to gain more wisdom, it's like, to recognize those as opportunities, to lean into them and to not get mad at people, but to go, this is actually a great thing. Because if I see something someone doesn't see, or if you see something in me that I don't see, it's a chance for the seer to lend a helping hand, and sometimes you can monetize it. At very least, I can help someone else out, and that can sometimes be very quickly reciprocated. So in the comments, insider secret number 7 is staying in my own lane. What percentage of your life do you stay in your lane? Do you stay in your lane 50% of the time? Or only 10%? Is 90% of your activities soul-sucking? That's a very hard life to live. If 9 of your 10 steps you walk sends a shearing pain through your foot, that's a problem. So I'd like to know in the comments, what percentage of your life are you staying in your lane? I think I'm somewhere around 60% of my activities, I'm staying in my lane. It's mindsets included in that, but I'm just curious for you, what percentage are you staying in your lane? So please write down the percentage in the comments below this. I'd like to know. I'm curious to poll the audience. Yeah. Insider secret number 7, staying in my lane.